Hey there, Wesley Smith here, Tree Service Digital, and I wanted to do a quick video and episode for the podcast about serving multiple areas in your market. So if you're a tree company, a lot of times if you're not physically located like right in the middle of an urban city, like a large city, for example, like Salt Lake City or Atlanta or Houston, typically your business address is going to be like on the fringes of the major city, right? So you're going to be probably located on the north side, the south side, the east side, or the west side of the city, but you also service the city. But in addition to the main city, you also are going to service lots of other suburban areas. Typically in our experience with our clients, it's typically anywhere from 8, 10, 12, 15, sometimes up to 20 other local little small cities or municipalities. And so you want to make sure that your website has a page dedicated for each one of those other areas that you want to service. And I wanted to make sure I put a quick video and a podcast episode together about this because it's super important to have a dedicated page on your website and also to target those areas with your Google Ads if that's an area that you want to service. I see a lot of SEO companies out there, perhaps not well versed in the tree service niche or any of the other niches for that matter, sometimes when we see what's going on, but you want to target multiple areas. And that's why a comprehensive marketing approach is really paramount to really growing your business. Because if your website only is like a template website that showcases your company name, maybe your trucks, maybe the website looks great, but it only is SEO, search engine optimized for your local area. And let's say that's a smaller area on the outside of your main city. Well, you're not going to show up for any of those other searches in nearby areas because you don't have a page on your website that's going to show up for those searches for tree service in those other areas. So I just wanted to show you like how critical it is if you want to get more business coming in from your website and from those internet searches that are being done every hour of every day in your town, and you want to make sure your website's perched right there at the top of the first page of Google so you get that call. That's super important. I mean, it's going to really help you grow your business. And so we kind of know what works because we're doing this for several dozen tree companies. And our goal and our mission is to help over 100 tree companies double or triple their business over the next year or two. So I wanted to show you what this looks like because you probably don't know what you don't know, right? Or maybe you've seen it before and you're like, wow, that website's pretty nice, but I don't know how I can get mine done like that. Well, this is how we build them out because it's super important that you get loads and loads of more traffic on your website. So for example, this particular client's in an area called Kaysville, Utah. Right, so it's a suburb kind of in the middle of Salt Lake City and kind of Ogden, that whole area where there's a lot of population, a lot of people, but they service a vast area around that particular area. Davis County, it's huge. It's got lots of population, lots of local cities, but most people don't search by the county. So that's first and foremost, you got to understand that. And if we see that that's the case, then we'll put a page on there for the county in general. But it's typically a search by the city. So people are going to search for the city that they're in 95% of the time over a county search. So just knowing that, what we do, you can see right here how many city pages are located on this website, right? So if somebody is not in Kaysville, normally if you don't have service area pages, then somebody's not going to find this cleancuttstrees.com website because they're searching for tree service, for example, in Clearfield, Utah, right? But Clean Cuts website's optimized for Kaysville, Utah. That's where they're located. So if this website was just a basic website and didn't have all these service area pages, it's only going to show up in Kaysville, Utah for those searches for tree service, tree removal, tree trimming, right? That's going to drastically restrict the amount of leads that you're going to get on your website. So to alleviate that, to make sure that your website shows up in all those other markets, you can see right here under the service areas page tab menu, there's a page dedicated for each one of these other areas. There's like, I think 17 or 18 city pages on this website. So look how many other cities that this website shows up in. So when somebody types in tree service Eden, Utah, they're going to see a page on Google, cleancuttstrees.com/Eden, Utah tree service. They're going to see a page from Clean Cuts Trees, and that's going to probably triple the amount of traffic that this website gets for tree service searches in the whole area that they cover because there's a page dedicated for each one of those areas. So I just wanted to make sure that I drive that point home. If you want to like double, triple, quadruple the amount of website traffic your website gets, you need to add service area pages for all of those areas that you cover, right? There's a lot more to making sure that that service area page ranks and gets to the first page of Google, and it's a little bit too cumbersome and complicated really for this small short video. But to get ranked in all those cities, you got to have a lot of other SEO, titles and meta descriptions and coding and content and keywords and all this other stuff done properly on those pages to make sure that they do rank once they get found by Google and indexed. But just, for the importance of this video, I just want to make sure that you understand the importance of having service area pages on your website for other markets that you want to target. Otherwise, nobody in those areas are going to find your website. They're not going to know that you service their area. So you need a page for all of those. And basically what we do, I'll click on one of these pages and show you, but it's a page that's got everything about that particular area. So for example, this is the Centerville, Utah tree service page. So we have the title catered to Centerville, the URL catered to Centerville. We have the keywords catered to Centerville. The entire page is about Centerville, Utah tree services, right? And you got to write a lot of good, compelling, quality content about that local area, about tree services, about tree removal. Google then crawls the web, finds the page, and then starts moving it up the rankings if everything else is done correctly. Now, there's a lot more moving parts to it. I just wanted to make sure you saw kind of how that works. And so we've got a map of Centerville on there, send a message, all these other things that are going to really help this website page rank in Centerville, Utah for tree service searches. So this is what it looks like. So this is one of the pages, and you can do that for all areas that you want to cover. But if you look at the ranking report here for this particular client, we've got, the keywords for each one of those other areas too. And you can see in Kaysville, they're #1 for everything. They're totally dominating Kaysville, completely dominating that local area. That's where their Google My Business listing, map listing is physically located, right? So they're going to dominate that area, period, because that's where they're at. We're doing a lot of search engine optimization services to help achieve that. And that generates a lot of business for them because people find them every time they do a search for tree service in the Kaysville market, tree removal in the Kaysville market. They find this website and they call it. So I just wanted to kind of show you that. But look at the other areas where we've got a page. So tree service Centerville, Utah, they're ranked #3. Let me show you what that looks like. So you saw the page here. That's Centerville, Utah. Let me show you this page here for Centerville, Utah. So if somebody in Centerville, Utah does this search, tree service Centerville, Utah, well, look right here. There's a page for our client's website right there. Otherwise, if we did not have a city page for Centerville, Utah tree service, nobody would find this client's website and nobody would call to ask them to come out to give them an estimate for a $2,000, $4,000, $10,000 tree project, right? It just wouldn't happen because they wouldn't have a page that showed up there. But since there's a page that shows up there, they're going to get leads weekly and monthly from that local area because they have a website on the first page of Google, website page on the first page of Google for that keyword, tree service Centerville, Utah, tree removal Centerville, Utah, etc. So I just wanted to show you that one example. There's probably 15 to 18 more pages that are all on page 1 in those other local markets too. So again, this will triple, quadruple, 5x, 10x the amount of traffic that your website gets because now it's showing up in all of these other local markets. So I just want to put a quick video together, podcast episode. If you're listening on the podcast, you can just kind of visualize what that looks like too, right? You can understand that the more pages of other cities in, they're 5 miles from you, 3 miles from you, 10 miles from you in your local radius that you want to cover. Let's say that's 30-mile radius, 20-mile radius. Heck, if you're in a really urban area, probably 12 to 15 miles is plenty, but you could probably have 8 to 10, 12, 15 other local cities that are in that radius, right? You want to make sure you got a page for all of those for your SEO. And this is just your Google SEO. This is just for your organic rankings, for your website, your Google My Business listing, etc. On the other side of it is the Google pay-per-click marketing, Bing, Yahoo pay-per-click marketing, and you can actually have ads that show up in these local areas too. So you like totally dominate those areas too. You've got an ad at the top of the page, and then you've got your website link for that city tree service page as well on the first page. So you got 2 or 3 spots on that first page in all these markets where you're just going to grow your business. You're going to get more leads in those local areas. So hopefully this was informative and kind of showed you what that looks like for a comprehensive SEO approach to really grow your business. It's just super, super important. And I see it all the time when we pick up new clients, or maybe we work with clients' existing websites. Sometimes, usually we're building a new website because we kind of know what needs to be on it. To get really, really good results, because that's what you guys are counting on us for, is good results. So we want to make sure it's got everything on there that we need to make sure we get #1 rankings or close to it. So a lot of times we see it where the website's just a template website. Maybe there's somewhere on the website where they mention all the services that they or all the areas that they service, but there's not a page dedicated for each one of those cities, because it is pretty cumbersome to build out that many pages for areas, but it's going to really drastically increase your business, because now you're going to get found more because that one page shows up in that other local area, right? So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video if you're seeing it on social media or on YouTube, or message me on this page that you're seeing it from. If you're on the podcast, like the podcast. If you're on the YouTube channel, go ahead and like the YouTube channel, subscribe to notifications. We put out nothing but tree service marketing content and interviews with experts in the tree service space, multi-million-dollar tree companies. Those are all coming down the pike. So I hope everybody's having a great day. If you have any questions, let me know. You can go to treeservicedigital.com, and then you can go /podcast if you want to see more episodes on the podcast. But this is really powerful as far as having a lot of service area pages. It makes your website bigger, more content, more people are going to find it. It's just going to make you kind of the dominant tree company in the local area once you get ranked for all that. It's got to be done the right way, but just wanted to kind of give you an overview of what works really, really well in today's online world. And there's several other things that we do as well digitally that'll help you bring in a lot more business. So if you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is Wesley Smith, and I hope you have a great day, and talk to you guys again soon. Thanks.